Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, to the world away. We now got issue 83 of Eagle Moss's Build the Delorean. Oh, it's good to be getting back to building this, especially after that Xmas tree mod. And if you haven't seen that video, look, I'll put a link up here. Just click on that card and have a look at the Xmas tree mod, because that is something else. It complements the little flux box there absolutely perfectly. So, but without further ado, let's get cracking. Let's see what we have to do in this issue. We've got more of this section here that we're going to be building, and we've got all sorts of weird and wonderful wires and stuff like that. So we've got some mesh to go around one of the capacitor things, I guess, and they're going to be attached, and loads of wire attached, 3 pages of stuff. So hopefully not too hard, but every time I see wires I get nervous. I still keep having flashbacks to that issue 48, so we don't want that again. But let's get cracking on this. So step 1, we've got 2 of these little silvery things here, and to be honest with you, they do look the same. I can't see any difference between them. So we're going to be putting those on first. So the first thing it wants me to do is put this mesh on this little drum here. And as you can see, you've got some holes just on the side here. And we're going to be putting that on like that, and then sort of like bending it round. Now once you've bent it, it's not going to unbend. So once it's on, we need to make sure that it is lined up absolutely perfectly. When it is, you should be able to see the screw holes, because we're going to be putting some screws in here through the little holes just in the side there. Now, the screws that are going in here are MP screws. They've sent us AP, AM and MP. The MP ones are the really, really tiny ones. So you just know I'm going to lose some of these. But what we'll do is I'll get a couple of these in, and we'll see what that looks like. We're going to have to repeat this twice, because obviously there's 2 of these. So once I've got this lined up, we'll get the screw in here and see what that looks like. So there we go, we're putting the first screw in there now. That was quite hard to actually get that lined up, I have to say. I think what you'll find is that this mesh might be slightly thicker at one side than the other. So if it doesn't line up with the holes, then make sure that you flip it around. And that's the problem I had then. But I'm not going to lie to you, these tiny screws are really fiddly. As you can see, I'm just being really gentle, balancing that on my thumb, starting that off and doing it really slow just to get a bite, and then screwing it in. That's the first one complete, looking just like that. So let's repeat that and make another one. So once again, we get the little silvery thing here. Let's get some screws out. We line the holes up first on this side. So we've got 2 holes. I line them up. Just make sure, see, that's not in the right way. That is. So if it's not in the right way, that way, just give it a flip. Flip it round, and then we roll this round. Try not to bend it, because it is metal, and we want this to line up properly. Then we line the holes up again. Like that, and like that. And then we're going to put a screw through it. So let's load the screw up. And put the first screw in just like so. That's the first screw in. Load up the second screw. I think loading the screws up is the hardest bit of this. There we go. And then we put the second one in. God, these are tiny. I think I'm going to need some new glasses soon, I have to say, because all I see is a blur with this, and I'm surprised I can get them in first time. But there we go, that's both of those completed. So you've got some little screw mounts on here. Again, there is some discrepancies with the colours. You can see I've already painted some of the colours here for the little Pac-Man pucks and stuff. But I believe that inside the mesh here is meant to be like a coppery bronze colour. I probably will change that later, but for the sake of this video, that's what they look like at the moment. So step 4, we're going to be attaching these. You see you've got a little notch. They're just going to be going on this little black part here. So we're just going to be putting that over the top. And then that will settle in nicely there. And that's all going to be secured in with an AP screw. It's the old faithful AP screw. So let's get them out as well. You see what I mean about a fiddly issue, this one. It's very tiny work. So what I think's best to do is we start this again. Make sure it's lined up. We start this and then screw it in really slowly. That's what I've been doing with these ones, and it seems to make a difference. And then I can hold it and make it tighter. Just like that. It's still turning. It's still turning. It's not turning anymore. So there we go. It's the first little one in. What do they call this? Is this a capacitor or something? Doesn't say. They just keep referring to it as a part. Joe, you can tell us what this is called. It does make me laugh because they do have some funny old names for some of these items. Whatever they're called. Okay, so we'll put the second one in just like this. Sorry there wasn't a video yesterday, actually. I got caught at the cinema. I went to watch Mission Impossible Fallout. Really good film. But once that's done, as you see, I've got the screws all on one side there. But that's that bit completed. That's step 4 and 5 done. And now we're going to be mounting this in the vehicle. And basically, this is just going to be going, if I show you on the top camera there, just this section here. So it's going to be going on the one that's, sorry, this section here, the one that's nearer the inside there. I think I'm going to have the screws pointing inside. Just like they have in the picture. And then once these are in, this is only going to be secured with one screw by the look of it. Let's turn it upside down and have a look. Yep, one screw just in there. And once again, it's the old faithful AP screw. So we'll get that loaded up. And we'll screw that in. Nice and tight. And then that would be step 7 completed. There we go, that looks good, doesn't it? Show you on the top camera again, that looks really good. Okay, so once we've done that, we've got some little capacitors, these little blue capacitors this time. They're going to be going into the vacant slot just next to it there, so we put that in just like that. I'm just going to see if these are directional as well. You've got little pins on the bottom of these, so you can only put it in one way, to be honest with you. So that's going to be going in just like that. And then once again, that's going to be secured in with an AP screw again. So we get an AP screw loaded up. And I've just noticed that on top of those little blue things there, we've got some little tiny holes again. So I'm guessing we're going to be putting some wires in for that. Oh, the joy. I'll make sure I put them in right way this time. But there we go. That's that in. Just looking like that. So that takes us all the way up to step 9. Now, step 10, we've got all sorts of lovely little wires here. We've got these little red wires. We're going to put a couple of these in. They're going to be going into one of the capacitors. They're all the same colour, so it's not going to make a difference. And they're going to be trailing off to the outside. So they're going to be coming down this edge here and down. So what we're going to want to do is screw these in just like that with those MP screws. We're going to put 2 on each one. So step 10, we're going to be putting on the outer one. And then step 11, we're going to be following it again on the inside one. So there's 4 to do. Let's see how easy I can do this time. But I've got to make sure they're all in the right way. So here we go. Here's the first one. It's easy starting these things off, I have to say, but you don't want to over tighten them because as soon as you start tightening them, it turns the little metal thing inside there. And I want them all to face the same way because I've got OCD. And if they don't face the same way, I go cranky. And I can't sleep at night. And I don't know where I get that from. I'm looking at you, Mother. My mother's watching this, who made me tidy my bedroom when I was a kid to the point where everything had to be exactly in one place. Now, look, actually, I've just noticed this. Before I tighten this one up, you know I said I want to keep these the same way? Have a look at that. It's actually already the wrong way, so I'm going to have to flip it and then twist it because that little metal thing should be facing down, not up. So I'm just going to take that out. I'm going to flip it round and then I'll have to bend it into place so it's all in the same way. Okay, so that's going in now. Yeah, I'll just twist it in, but I do want them all facing the same way, you see, so. There we go. And then I can just bend that down. We're going to have to train these afterwards anyway. Because they're all over the place at the moment. Okay, let's put the next 2 in. I do like these little figures. I can't wait till they come up. Look, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm like a squirrel, I am. Right, okay, make sure this is in the right way. Yep, this one's going to be okay. So yeah, I'm going to be training these wires by the look of it afterwards, because obviously we want this to be lovely and neat. That's that one in. And last but not least, one more. These are going in really easy, actually. I'm quite happy with this. I'll put the last one in here. But once again, they're in the... they got theirs going in different directions. Just having a quick look. see, on the figures they're putting in here, they've got them going... No, they've sort of got them going in the same way. I'm keeping them going the same way. Because, as I said, it doesn't look right if you've got it going the wrong way. And then I can twist these wires around later. So, that's the last one in. And basically, that's all the way up to step 11. And I guess these things are just going to be trailing down like this. But I don't know where they go after that. So, that's the next thing to check. I'm just going to tidy these up a little bit now. And we'll come back to this. Now what they want is, once they're down, they want these red wires here, if I hold these like this, going in that sort of direction over here, all together, underneath this unit here. Which does beg the question, how we keep it so that these like flexible bits here are actually pointing straight down. I might put a touch of glue on mine, I'm not quite sure yet. But I have tidied those wires up just so I can do the next part. Okay, so step 12, we're now going to be using this wire here. And the first thing it wants me to do on step 12 says push the end of the wire loop into the hole shown on 83H wires. So it wants it pushed into this hole just there. You see that okay? Look, right next to those silver things. It's going in that hole there. Then from underneath, we're going to be attaching this with one of those little, I don't know what they're called, little tabs just under here, which is going to go on just these points just here and here. And there you go. So we tighten that up, so that wire's nice and tight in there. That's good. So that's that tab on, and that's basically step 13 done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back over because we're going to be doing some wire tidy on this wire now. And basically what it wants is hold the wire 8 figure places shown with the Lab 83J and 2 AM screws. So through these points here, we're going to be putting this little bit of black plastic there, but they're going to be going on. The camera's here, just probably that one there. It's going to be going on together like that, with this bit going over the top of it. Now this is going to be fiddly, I think. So once that's on just like that, we're going to be securing this down with a AM screw. I've got one loaded up, and this is actually secured from the top. So once I've got one in, it should be easy. But they are famous last words. That's the first one in. So that was good. Let's go back so you can see this. And now we put the second one in. Oh, wires. They do scare me. Now, obviously, I need to tidy all of these wires up here because they are in a little bit of a mess. But I will get that done, and I will do it so that these are actually going straight down rather than across, because we want them to be really neat. And I don't want to push them too much because we don't want to updo that flex, but that's pretty much how it's going to look when that's completed. But I'll do that in post-production. Once that's done, that's step 14 done. Step 15, obviously we've got this still going off into oblivion. We're going to be putting this little black piece on here, just like that. Now this little black piece is going to be going on the outside of this into these holes here, here and here. So it's going to be going in just like that. I don't know if this needs to be secured. Does it say? Because that's clipped in lovely. Do we have to glue that? It says push pipe 83 into place by lining the 3 holes as shown. No, just says we have to do that. Okay, the next thing, now we're working on these. This is going to be great. We're going to be putting this top piece here into the bottom piece. So we need these two bits together, and these are just going to go in one way. Make sure you put them the right way around so that all the black sides and the silver sides correspond with each other. But that's going to be going in just like that. So that looks like that. Again, it doesn't say we have to glue this, but we have to push parts 83B and 83C into position by aligning the post. These are going to be going into the section that's been left here, just on this side, right here. Okay, so we need to make sure we orientate this right, so the black ends are going to be facing forward. I'm just going to, I am going to need to neaten this up now, because I'm not going to be able to get to these things in a second. Because now, this bit, when we put it down, is going to be going in just like that there. Fitting perfectly in there. Make sure you put it the right way around. Okay, right, that's going to be secured with AP screws. So we'll get an AP screw in here. Turn it round. Make sure it's lined up. We'll get the first screw in. There's the first screw in. We're going to put the second screw in now. Some people are changing the colour of this because I think it's got a little bit more of a greenish look to it. The trouble with that is, though, that I'm colourblind. I can't tell the difference. I don't know. So I think that's all that's left to do with this is to actually just tidy these wires up a bit, which I'm going to do afterwards. But that's pretty much how that's looking there. Right, once we've done that and that's secured, it says we've got to basically loop the cables. This big cable here is going to be going round the rear of this. Oh God, it's going all over the place. It's going to be going off in that direction. So the way they've got it is coming round the outside, probably best on the top camera here, round the outside of the silver bits here. So I've done that. Then they've got it going over the top of this, underneath both of these, just like this. Hang on a second. So it's sort of like, I don't think I can get this underneath actually. I'll just put it over the top one there for now. And I'm just seeing how tight. They've got it in sort of like a loose sort of thing there. Then it's going round the blue capacitors there. And then they've got it just going out in this direction over here. Over the top. Just like that. So they're wrapped all over the place. But that's it. That's all we have to do for that issue. It does look really good, doesn't it? Can't wait to get this loaded in the car. So that was issue 83. Nice tricky issue actually. Look at all the bits that we had with that. That's how tricky that was. What we got coming next time? Let's have a quick look at the thing. I have got the next one, but I've just got to get on with that. Oh, it looks like we've got the frames and the brackets for this to start mounting this engine surround in. So that would be issue 84. That'll probably be coming in the next couple of days. But other than that, hope you like that video. Again, be sure to check out that Xmas tree mod video I did. Whet your appetite with that and see it working with the flux capacitor over there. Looks amazing. Anyway, hope you like that video. Take care.